Hello, I'm Francis Altman, Principal of West Craven Middle School. The purpose of this narrative is to describe systems thinking, systemic change, and technology integration in Craven County schools, and specifically West Craven Middle School. We are tying these concepts together to evaluate the way teachers are engaging students and affect positive change for teachers and students in our schools.
Peter Senge defines system thinking as a framework for seeing interrelationships rather than things, for seeing patterns of change rather than static snapshots. Today's systems thinking is needed more than ever because we're becoming overwhelmed by complexity. I see the educational system as being no different in this case. Systems thinking is a process of analyzing and understanding the interrelationships among system parts rather than the parts themselves. This process requires a strong underlying understanding of the interacting and interrelated components within the entire system. So why is this important? Every single step of aircraft maintenance is part of the system and are all interrelated. If a plane does not leave on time, then the mission is affected. If parts are not turned in correctly, then they may not be processed and returned to the supply system in a timely fashion, affecting future missions. The ends in this case is making sure that the aircraft flies on time to meet the mission and is 100% safe. So how does systems thinking work in schools? The ends in this case is to prepare students to be critical thinkers, problem solvers, team players, and to be ready for future learning and productive workers. The means is everything we do in school. Think about the paradigm paralysis in education. Where are we shifting? Are we shifting where we need to? Looking for patterns that are not isolated to one data point and making changes based on those. To solve complicated problems in education, educational leaders need to be able to observe, fully evaluate, and analyze the situation from a holistic or possibly even a totally different viewpoint. The ends in our case have become much more complicated than in the past, and so have the means. Our ends in the past seem to have been preparing children for EOGs and EOCs, which is kind of a shame. A system thinking approach also becomes a proactive means of problem solving and continuous improvement. Craven County Schools has adopted the Malcolm Baldrige approach to systems thinking. We use the PDSA model, which as you can see is very similar to the ADDIE model. It stands for Plan, Do, Study, Act. The difference that I see in the ADDIE model is it does take time to identify where problems are before beginning the planning process. Systemic change is comprehensive. Change is being required by changes in societal needs, and it requires a paradigm shift from educational leaders also. At times our educational philosophies and methods have become dated, and I think this is where we're finding ourselves in education. Systemic change is comprehensive. These changes are fundamental in nature, and a change in one area will require changes in other areas to be successful. We are all grappling with a totally new curriculum. We're also seeing the needs of students change and the needs of our local businesses changing. We're starting to offer online educational opportunities through things like NCVPS and hybrid courses. Schools within schools, changing our educational pedagogy to project-based and inquiry-based instruction in the new curriculum. At West Craven Middle School, we're placing tremendous emphasis on project-based and inquiry-based instruction. These changes have been fundamental and required a lot of professional development and redirection of resources and ongoing support to be successful. Systemic change requires effective planning, constant monitoring, and tweaking to be effective. Perhaps shifting too quickly can also be ineffective and derail what we're trying to accomplish. Technology integration. Our students are practiced and effective users of digital technologies for pleasure, but not as well versed in using them in the classroom for learning. Technology has afforded us choices for the way we interact with our curriculum, our students, and with each other. We've been fortunate in the past 2 years to be able to purchase a lot of laptops for our school. We are now 2 to 1. And our teachers and students are using a large number of 2.0 tools, such as Google Docs, in the classroom for collaboration. We focused our professional development in the past 2 years on teacher collaboration, Common Core and Essential Standards curriculum, project-based and inquiry-based instruction. And teachers are using technology to engage students in collaboration and problem solving much more effectively than they had in the past. A few of the tools that they're using are Google Docs, Moodle, which is our curriculum management platform, and Wiki. Our professional development has become more focused on building pedagogy and capacity for using technology in content instruction. There is so much technology out there now that teachers are having to evaluate what's the best fit for technology in the classroom. I like the task fit model, identifying the characteristics, the technology's characteristics, the experiential characteristics. Is it the best fit? Is there a perceived usefulness? And is there a perceived ease of use? There's a lot of technology out there to do a lot of cool things, but it's hard to use. And if it's hard to use, it's going to take up too much time and be more confusing in the classroom than it's probably worth. But this is where teachers are. There's so much out there, they're having to identify, what do I need to use today? Impact at West Craven Middle School, the implementation has not been smooth from the beginning. We're now getting the hang of it, and things are starting to be much more smooth in the implementation, but the first year was awfully rocky. And it's requiring a paradigm shift for our teachers and leadership. Teachers are collaborating to plan units and projects where they had not done this in the past. We're not there yet with our data analysis. In the past, Craven County Schools had administered 9-week assessments, so we had a large data point every 9 weeks to use for data analysis and seeing where our kids were and where we needed to go back for instruction. We don't have that this year with the Common Core, so we're having to create our own data with bi-weekly common assessments, but the teachers are just getting their hands around how to go back and evaluate that data to make process improvement. Which leads us into systems thinking and a proactive approach for improvement.
The 21st century teachers are well educated, but at times resist learning about new technology and new pedagogy for the classroom. I experienced this firsthand as a principal in my own school. Professional development is underemphasized and undervalued in many schools and districts. Teachers need support and adequate planning time to apply new concepts for the classroom. Change, including new technologies, take many teachers far beyond their comfort zone into a facilitative role. Our end goal is always to maximize student learning and achievement and to prepare our students for a productive future. We are making great strides at West Craven Middle School, but we are shifting big paradigms at the same time by increasing teacher expectations for student engagement through the use of instructional technologies and project-based instruction.